Hey, welcome back guys. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully you're doing well. Today I'm going to be talking about how to be a successful student. Now, most of this video is directed at design students because obviously that's what I talk about here on this channel, but a lot of these insights can really be applied to anybody in college, no matter what you're studying. So if you're not from the design team, then that's okay too. Definitely feel free to continue watching this video. I think you'll still find it pretty helpful. So I'm going to be giving you guys 3 insights of my own, things that I kind of picked up as I was going through school and things that I've realized after graduating college. So stay tuned and let's get into it. The first insight I have for you guys is to learn from other sources outside of your classroom. And what I mean by this is don't just go by what your professors are teaching you. Yes, obviously it's really important to listen to what your professors are telling you and to listen to the lectures, but go and seek out alternate sources of knowledge. Go to YouTube, go to blogs, websites, social media pages. There's so many different resources out there to teach you about design or whatever it is you're interested in. So utilize those, because at the end of the day, your professors are hired to do the job of educating you, and they do a great job of it, but they're only one person, right? So there can only be so much influencing them, their lessons that they teach to you. So it only makes sense to gather as much information from as many different sources as possible, because you don't want to rely on just one person's insights or knowledge passed down to you. You want to make sure that you have as vast of a knowledge base as you can tap into, and that means learning from tons of different people. Just here on YouTube alone, there are so many great resources. I'll name one that I'm a really big fan of, and that's The Future, owned by Chris Do. They have an incredible library of design knowledge videos helping you, teaching you about all kinds of different things you need to know as a designer, and a lot of things that I found I wasn't learning in the classroom. So it is really helpful to get knowledge from other people, because you might find yourself learning something new, or if the things that you've already learned in the classroom get reinforced, what's wrong with that? Nothing. So definitely seek out other sources besides just your professors at school. I think you'll find that it's just really nice to have that reach whenever you're trying to learn something. The second insight I have for you guys: work outside of the classroom. I don't mean do your work in your room or in the library, just like not in your classroom. What I mean by this is seek out other projects besides just the ones that you're getting from your professors in the classroom. Don't just do the homework and, pass in the projects at the end of a few weeks and get your grade and that's it. Seek out other things, to work on. This can include things like freelance, jobs around your campus, maybe in like the local community, mentorships, do informational interviews with people. Basically, this can all be summed up by reach out to people and get involved. So I'll start with reaching out. Reaching out to people is something that I didn't learn nearly as quickly as I should have in college. The first time I really reached out to somebody was in my senior year, before going down the path to creating my senior capstone project. And part of the project was to reach out to somebody not affiliated with the college and ask for their help, kind of like a mentorship along the way with the project. And so I reached out to somebody at Blizzard Entertainment because my project was a video game concept, and Blizzard is, an amazing video game company. So I reached out to somebody working at Blizzard through LinkedIn. I just kind of searched through the names in the design department, and this one guy accepted my friend request. I sent him an email. He got back to me super quickly. His name was Martin, and he was super nice, and he helped me the whole way through my project and was super excited about it. Didn't want any money or anything, you know, he was just helping a college student out. And I think you'll find that a lot of professionals in the field that you're studying, if you reach out and they have the time, are super excited to help out students, because that's like the next generation of professionals in their industry, and people get really excited about that. Even myself, this is why I create these videos, is because I'm really excited to kind of pass what I've learned on to the next generation. And I'm not even a year out of school, so you can see how some people who are in the industry for years, you know, probably can't wait to pass on what they've learned to somebody that they can mentor, basically, even if it's just for a short period of time. So don't be afraid. Do the research, go on LinkedIn, look at some companies that you're a big fan of, and just see if you can get some names, some emails, send them something. Maybe you can set up like an informational interview, and basically that's just like you come in with some questions asking them, you know, how they got to where they are, what kinds of steps they took, basically trying to understand their graphic design journey so that you can take some of what they did and apply it to your own journey. And, you know, you can do that over the phone or FaceTime interview. You don't have to meet in person or anything. And then the second part is getting involved. So getting involved on campus is a really big step, I know, for some people who aren't the type to really, you know, get involved in clubs and different organizations. I totally get that. But to be honest, it's only gonna help you, because I myself wasn't someone who got super involved in high school, but then when I got to college, I found myself getting more involved, and, you know, it ended up being really beneficial for me, because out of like the 3 or 4 different clubs and organizations set up on campus that I became a part of, I ended up doing design work for all of them. So by getting involved on campus, you're establishing a network of people on campus that you can do work for. And the more work you can do outside of the projects that you're being assigned in the classroom gives you more ammunition to be able to create a portfolio that's really amazing later on whenever you're ready to start applying to jobs. And it's really important that you have some real client experience. And I know that, you know, they're just on campus, and if they're other students or teachers, like, are they really real clients? Yes, they are. If you're doing work for somebody else, that's a client. Whether or not they're paying you or not, as a student, you have to take advantage of the resources that you're given. And college campuses are filled with networking resources. It's like the biggest opportunity you'll probably get before you enter your professional career to establish friendships and relationships with tons of different people that may or may not assist you in finding work later on. So utilize that network. Reach out to clubs, organizations, see if anybody needs work done, join the clubs, say, hey, I can do graphic design. You know, everyone needs posters, everyone needs, you know, things to post on social media. All of this is relevant to professional experience, so don't be afraid to just send a few emails, call around a few people. Most of the time, you know, people are always welcoming designers to help them out, because people need it so much. Even if you wanted to like not do so much stuff on campus, chances are your campus is located near some local businesses. Just reach out to them and say, hey, I'm a student at this college. I study graphic design. I was wondering if you guys would need any graphic design help. Obviously, I'm a student, so I'm not going to be charging that much. So like, you know, it works out for them. They probably love hearing from students that want to help out their business. They get some design work for cheaper than they normally would if they went to a professional not in college. And then you get really valuable real life client work experience. So all of these things that I'm talking about, you know, I'm not saying do all of them, but I'm just trying to relay how many different opportunities there are for you to take advantage of to do work, to get paid doing the work while you're in college. You don't have to just wait until afterwards to build up a portfolio of work that you've done professionally. So definitely bear that in mind. That might be the most important insight I'll give you. So when you're assigned something from your professor, a new project comes across, right? So maybe you get a book design. You do the book design, you go through some different renditions, and then it's time for the critique. You come in, you show your different concepts, you go with a certain direction, right? And then you finish the project, you turn in the file. That's typically how most of the projects in college will go. But what if you took it to the next step, right? So think about if you were doing a book design professionally, what kinds of things might the client also want from you besides just the book design? Books need all kinds of other design assets besides just the book itself. Like, they need to be marketed to the people so that, people know about the book and want to buy it. So maybe come up with like a social media ad campaign for the book, and just come up with, I don't know, like a handful of different images that you could do, like along with some posts, and mock up like some fake social media posts or something, or even just have the visuals themselves, like some sort of cool image with the book, a quote from the book. I don't know, there's all kinds of things that you can do. And then also mock the book up. So like, you're not actually going to get the book printed if it's for a school project, but you can use book mock-ups. If you don't know what mock-ups are, I'm going to be doing a full video talking all about mock-ups. So if you're a little blurry on that, stay tuned for that video. But for now, basically, mock-ups are just like ways to show your work in context. So go online and search product mock-ups. You can find ones for free. There's tons of book mock-ups out there that you can find. Creative Market might be the most recognized website to go and check out. I don't know if they have a lot of free stuff, but that's just a website that I'm on a lot. So mocking up your book for like the critique in class, right? It just makes it easier for your classmates and your professor to see the work in context, in a printed book. That's what it's meant for. Yeah, you can critique just the flat file on the screen, but it would help a lot if they could see how it would actually look in a book. And then, the critique would be much more beneficial because people are seeing it in its, natural setting, if you will. And taking those extra steps and going above and beyond the scope of the project that you're handed isn't like showing off. So don't worry about, oh, I don't want to do all this extra work and my classmates are like, look at that kid just showing off, doing all this extra work. Who cares? Because at the end of the day, by doing the extra work, you're going to get noticed by your professor. And let's say your professor, with all of their design connections, one day they get an email from somebody looking for some work, and they're wondering, hey, would any of your students be interested in doing this project with me? Guess what? They're going to look at you, the person that's doing the extra work, going above and beyond the scope of the project, because that's passion. That shows that you're in it. You are, in it for the long haul. This is your career. This is what you want to do with your life, and you're passionate about design, so you are just working on it even more than you're supposed to by grade rules, And so they're going to get in touch with you to say, hey, Jeff, do you want to work on this project with this person? I just got this email. And so doing extra work is going to get you noticed by the people that matter. And not only that, but this helps you expand on just what were initially small little projects that maybe consisted of like one thing into large, wholesome projects that you could post to your portfolio page whenever it's time to apply for jobs. And that's what people are looking for, is projects. No one's gonna look at all of your stuff and, oh, you're a logo designer, and then they see 6 logos and that's it. It's just like 6 logos. Like, you need to have more to go along with that logo, because whenever you work with clients in the professional realm, there's always applications for the logo and other things that you need to consider whenever you're designing not only logos but everything, because everything is touching multiple things, if that makes sense. Like, nothing you make is ever just going to live in one area, most likely. That's just the nature of modern society with social media and all the digital content that's being produced. It needs to be flexible, and you need to realize the scope of the project you're working on and how it will evolve over time. And so by recognizing that in the beginning, you set down a really great framework for its longevity and the future use of whatever it is you're designing. So it's just going to prepare you for success whenever you leave college. It's going to get you noticed when you're still in college. And that's my 3 insights, guys. So I think, there's definitely some other insights. I can do another video if you guys like something like this. But, those are 3 things that really stuck out to me that I kind of learned along the way in college that I really enjoyed once I was utilizing them, and kind of wished I was utilizing them a little earlier. I wish I had somebody, that I could watch a video and tell me these things whenever I was a freshman, so that I could have maybe adopted some of them a little bit earlier. But that's okay, because now I'm here transitioning it over to you guys, so hopefully you guys can be successful students and after that become successful professionals. And that's what we want here, guys. So if you liked the video, definitely click the like button and go over to the channel, subscribe for any future content that's going to be coming out. Like I said, look out for a mock-ups video soon in the future. I also really enjoy doing those logo breakdowns for the Overwatch League logos, so I have some other logos I'm looking at right now that I'll probably be doing review videos for as well. So stay tuned for those. And yeah, guys, that's all for me. Have a great rest of your day. I will catch you in the next video.